Hey, thanks for joining. In today's episode of SmokeKing BBQ Experience, we're gonna go through a recipe that I brings in my heart. Basically, because I've learned this recipe when I was living in Panama, and it brings all the nice and fresh flavor of summertime. So there is also something special of this recipe, and don't have to forget to say, is because it's going to be built only on vegetables, so it's perfectly fitting if you have vegetarian friends that are going to join you. So you can also prepare these special things. And we're going to build actually two ciders. One is going to be guacamole. The other one is going to be tomato sauce. And what is the main part or the main plate is going to be bell pepper stuffed with cheese. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell if you want to see more video, get notification. Thanks for joining. So for the preparation of the guacamole, what we are going to need is 3 avocado, 2 lime, and 1 red onion. Let's start with the onion. We clean it up. We peel the excessive skin. We set them on a side. And then it doesn't have to be so thin. So to get the best out of our lime, suggestion I can give you is to roll it a little bit. Now it's time to cut the avocado. So I usually cut the head and the bottom out. And you can cut through it. Twist. Then you can decide if to save the seed, if you want to plant into your house, or if you don't want. Cutting through it will help you to separate the avocado out of the skin. And with the support of a spoon, we take it out. Repeat the process for the other avocados. Once we cut all the avocados, in order to avoid oxidation and also to add the taste, it's time for us to add the lime. So you remember we squeeze them a little bit, we press it against the table. Now it's time to take out the juice. And with a fork, we roughly press it. We don't want it to be too smooth, nor too big pieces. Once we got the right roughness, so not too smooth nor too chunks, we add the red onion. And then we finish with a little bit of salt, kosher salt. Once we finalize the mix, I'm going to cover with plastic foil. You can get in touch with the guacamole, so to remove all the air. And then we place it in the fridge. Now it's time for us to prepare the tomato sauce. So for this part we're gonna need 3 tomatoes, enough white onion, and also a spoon. You will discover why. So let's start with the tomatoes. We just simply cut them enough. And then with the spoon, we're gonna remove the seeds that are inside. We do the same also for the other 2 tomatoes. Once we cut the tomato, we're gonna place them on a side, and then we're gonna continue with the onion. When it comes to the onion, we're gonna cut slices of a centimeter or a quarter of inch, I think it is. Setting our kettle in order to have one zone as direct heat and one zone as indirect heat. Once we reach the temperature, we're gonna place our tomatoes and the onion on the direct zone. After 3 minutes, it's time to flip them on the other side. And close the lid for another 3 minutes. After 3 minutes per side, it's now time to collect them and bring them home. We let them cool a little bit in order to handle them, and then we're gonna chop it. At this moment, we're gonna add 1 lime. And we're gonna squeeze it. Two tablespoons of coriander or cilantro, and 1 tablespoon of salt. Then with the help of a spoon, we mix everything together. Now it's time to do some hot cheese action. So take our grate and we grate the cheese. In this case we are grating Edammer cheese. We can also use Datch cheese if we like. And we're gonna grate 100 grams. Then with the Edammer, we do the same cheese hot action, but this time with goat cheese. In this case, we're gonna have half of the quantity, so just 50 grams. Now we're gonna add to our mix also a Tomino cheese. As this is not so easy to grate, I will do it in another way, chop it down as small as possible and add it to our mix. Now it's time to place our bell pepper into the direct zone. And we're gonna flip them every 3 minutes, more or less. We do have a guest. Can you hear it? If you know which kind of bird is this one, please write me in the comment because I'm very curious about who's the guest of today grilling. After 3 minutes is the time to flip our bell pepper. Maybe I will arrange this one more here because it looks here, it's more hotter than here. Again, we flip. And then we rearrange the last. One more time. This one goes to the back. This one flip, 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 and flip. Time for another round. Getting a very nice color, doesn't they? The skin is already started detaching, which is what we are going to aim. Actually, this side is a little bit less done. Let's do this one like this one like that. I think this will be the last round. So while we are waiting, I will share a little bit of not a secret, I would say, but why I'm always having my top vents opposite to my charcoal. So basically, what we want to aim is to have the source of the temperature, the source of the heat, sitting on the opposite side versus the top vents, because this will create a convection of the heat from where the charcoal is seated towards the roof, and then versus the top vents. This will ensure that what you are cooking on direct heat is receiving the best and the highest amount of flames or temperature, because we know when we cover and we close the lid, there are no flames going on, but only temperature rising from the charcoals. And when it comes to the indirect zone, we have in the right flow of hot air, keeping hot, and having this zone hotter enough in order to cook. So now it's time to collect our bell pepper. We place them here. I will give them a little bit of time to rest and put actually some foil in order to ensure that the skin is going to detach as best. And then we're going to be back inside. Now it's time to peel our bell pepper and to fill them with the cheese mix. So I gave them 10 minutes in order to in order for the bell pepper to cool down, and also for the skin, you can see, to start to detach for the bell pepper. So as this may take some time, I will cut to the moment where I peel all of them. Once we peel out the skin from the bell pepper, it's now time to stuff them with the cheese. So we do a gently cut through in order to open up the internal part of the bell pepper. We don't want to go through the bell pepper, otherwise we're going to ruin the recipe. Inside there will be the seeds that we need to remove. To do so, we can scoop them out with a spoon. And when we have removed them completely, we can start infilling the cheese. Once we remove all the seed, we keep the bell pepper as a crate, and then we stuff it with the cheese. Once we reached the amount of cheese that we perceive is the correct amount to fill it completely, we're gonna close it with some toothpicks. I will finalize the rest of the bell pepper, and we see at the kettle. Now it's time for us to set our stuffed bell pepper in the indirect zone part of our Weber Kettle, and then let them rest there for 6-8 minutes. We just need the cheese to melt down. After 7 minutes, I lift up and I see that my cheese started to melt. So it's now time to bring it back in home and then prepare the plate. Now it's time to prepare the plate. So you can have one pepper. You can place a scoop or two of guacamole. And we can put also on the side a fantastic tomato. It's time to eat, guys. Let's cut through it. Cheesy. I will cut this part, otherwise may looks too trashy, because I will literally jump on this one. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this recipe as I like to make it. Also eating it, because the bell pepper didn't last that long as you may expected. And also the sides were amazing. I mean, I love the way the cilantro pop up the flavor of the tomatoes that have been grilled. Literally, try this recipe, write me down your comments. I always read them. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell if you like this video. Thanks for joining.